All right, good day, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're joining us from. Thank you for coming to the seventh times we'll be meeting as a community, AI and LLM and AI agent community Little Rock. We really appreciate that you take time to join. It's been a series of meetings of learning how to build. We're in a series that's going to end next time we meet. It's called Build with AI. That is the series we're in. And to wrap this up, we have a ship demo day, where you kind of build things and then show us what you have learned and what you have been able to build. Over the last course of 2 weeks, we have sent out communications regarding the use case, about 5 different use cases. We followed up with personal life experiences from us regarding how challenging learning can be, especially building, and we encourage everyone to make an attempt. The exciting thing about today is we're not here for only those who have completed their solution. Those are not the only people that get to talk. The people that is also involved are someone who probably you did not even start anything at all. You're going to present that same thing. What stops you from even trying anything at all? We're going to hear from people who probably started and stopped halfway. Probably they're blocked. Oh, what got you blocked? We're going to hear from them. And we're also going to hear from anyone who probably, if we have that on the call today, who was able to build his or own solution. So you can just share with us a demo of that solution and we can provide feedback. So before we start, we encourage checking in. And about the community, as you can see, all the times we've gathered here, we've come here to learn, to share, to build, and to co-grow together. None of it is independent. Everyone that has facilitated a session or the other, they've always learned alongside while they were sharing, while they were building. And I tell you, personally, I can tell you confidently that I've grown since we started this community. It's because I've been presented opportunity to demonstrate what I know, what I learned, and to also learn from every other person regarding perspectives, especially when we talk about latest in AI, debate on some topics. That really helped me. So this is what this community is for. If there's any of this that resonates with you, you want to learn, join us. You want to share what you have learned and build, join us. You want to build? Yeah, this is the right place for you. You want to experience regrowth? I can tell you, this is the right place for you to be. So check in. We really encourage this because it just helps us to monitor the numbers and see how well we're doing, what we can do better. And more importantly, we want to know when the old change started coming because it is inevitable. This community is going to grow, it's going to become bigger. This is also good for us to see what's happening, the patterns we observe while we're still starting in our days of little beginning. So we encourage signing in and checking in. I'm going to also do mine right now. You can scan the QR code. You can also go to the URL. Okay, right now I'm doing that. All right, sign in because I did sign in before. I'm gonna use this. Done. It's seamless, isn't it, Bola?
Yes,
Is it?
it is.
Yeah. All right. So today, for latest in LLMs and AI agents, we're going to open this floor today because we are running this together, everyone. So we're going to have about 10 minutes to discuss what have you observed the last couple of 2 weeks, any latest thing, news, updates. So let's talk about them. Yeah, so the floor is open right now. We just want to catch up. What do you think happened recently that you want to just talk, summarize? 1 point per person. The floor is open. You can unmute if you want to talk.
Let me start. Let me give
Okay.
one before I step away from my sisters because I might not be able to unmute. But today I actually want to enjoy what everybody wants to present today. So that this is the but something that at least that happened maybe this week is something that we've always spoken about here is about policies in EU in Europe concerning anything that has to do with data and stuff like that. It's 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 very hostile, and there's a new because of a new hostile policy now. Almost all LLM providers would have to um watermark their content. Now, after people came out that they're also going to co-sign that stuff, and they're also going to start watermarking their content as well. But the price of that watermarking is what I think is not really understandable by a lot of people, because people tend to look at watermark from what they see in Microsoft Word document, where you have a watermark as a background, as a as the background document. But this is not. They're like, okay, how would they watermark something that's been sent as a string over an API that you just receive the content? How would they watermark it? So the watermark they are providing is in the content itself, in the token that you are getting. That's where the watermark is. So the way LLM works, at least on inference, is that you supply a prompt, then it does some probability distribution and select the next token from that probability distribution. Quite fine. But now it's gonna be different now. So after the probability distribution, then you're gonna have a key based token selection now, and that's where the watermark comes in. So they're going to either do a key-based token selection at that point, or do the probability sampling and then do a key-based substitution. Like, okay, the LLM has actually selected some words, then let's move those words and put a replacement there. So those replacements are the watermarks that we're talking about. So if you have an AI detector, the AI detector will find those replacements, and then you say, oh, this is not AI content, or this one was generated by Claude, or like that. Now, there's several challenges in this thing. For general content, like maybe you're writing a word or a very long thing, like proposal, document summarization, those things are okay. But for things that require specific content, like coding, where you cannot change the syntax, it's very difficult to do that substitution. Those substitution probably happen in the variable names. But in things that are syntax, like you can't change if to something else, you can't change else to something else. So you can't change you can't change public or private to something else. So it's quite difficult. But in variable name, that substitution might actually work. But it will be noticeable after a while. I don't know how they're going to do it. So I'm very sure they'll find a way to get around this thing. But in terms of every other task, apart from coding, it might be easier for them to do this. Now, there's a catch there. Like I said this is the key-based substitution approach, meaning that it's basically like cryptography. So once you have the hash, you have the key, you can reverse. Now, if the key mistakenly leak, everybody will be able to remove the watermark. If they publish it, everybody will be able to remove the watermark. If they don't, and then it's only going to take a while. Like if they keep, let's say they're doing this watermark for like 6 months, people algorithms that are built will start noticing the pattern and be able to predict where the watermark. Especially if they keep rotating the process of the cryptography and the process of embedding the watermark. If they don't, after a while, it gets a pattern start developing and it's easier to figure out. So, and that's my opinion, though. I don't know. I haven't really done so much research in that aspect, but based on what I've seen, also my experience with cryptography over the years, if you do not rotate, after a while, a pattern becomes to develop. The way to beat cryptography is to have enough samples. When you have enough samples, then you can train the model to beat that, to learn whatever it is that's the key and the ciphers necessary to protect cryptography. So that might also happen in this case too. But I'm not. I'm not very. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about the current watermark thing, because it doesn't make actually sense. And then if it is EU policy, I wanted to believe that it should not apply globally. But if it's done there, Anthropic might just deploy to every other place in the world too. So that's the interesting thing that I see that happened this week. So I'm going to leave the floor to any other person. Thank you.
Wow, thanks a lot for sharing that. I read that from Entropy and their explanation around why they are doing that. That is EU that is forcing them to do that and what that means. But it's so good to understand the details now, knowing how that could be implemented on the back end. Thanks for that. So I'm also going to talk about open source, open source, open source, open source. So the last 2 weeks has been a quite interesting one for the open source community. There were three key models that go right now that came out that are very, very impressive. Um, we found number one recently, which was I think yesterday. Yes, yesterday, Gwen. I said it's my best of all the models that I love so much. Above all is Gwen model. And the reason is because they are the king when it comes to smaller models that can run on your machine. They always have very powerful small models, variants that can actually run on more local machines. So finally, yesterday, they released Gwen 3.8 27 billion parameter model. And that can actually run the 4 quantization Q4 can run on 17 gig RAM. That is very, very impressive. VRAM, if you have a 17 gig VRAM, you can run it. I ran it on my Linux machine and it was impressive. And people that have tested it showed that even the thinking, it's like an harness in itself. It's not just regular trying to show you some hidden thought and making it look as if it's thinking. This is literally the way an harness will have behaved. That's the way the thinking is behaving. And what I use it for, simple scenario, but it actually wrote code, did all those things. I'm like, okay, if I have a powerful machine that can run this, that would be better. In fact, it's proven that FP16, that is the full precision for that model, is at the same level with Opus 4.6. Opus 4.6 was for about 6 months ago, which is crazy. Even though we have 5 now kind of leading, but and there's still Opus 5. There's over Opus 4.6, there's Opus 4.7, 4.8, and 5. And the fact that a smaller model like that can truly give that much power if you have the device to run it, that is impressive. Also, we saw DeepSeek. DeepSeek released, and they even open source it. DeepSeek, this V4 Pro was also open source. This very week, earlier this week, about 3 or 4 days ago. That's also impressive because the Flash model now is also available. That very fast, very cheap, very affordable. Those are open source model, but it's a very big model. DeepSeek is a bigger model. It's not something you just run on simple machine and devices. But that's open source. GLM are releasing GLM 5.3. GLM 5.2 was what helped Hugging Face to actually resolve the proposed attack from OpenAI model. Now, they've launched GLM 5.3 with even cyber, with a variant that is even more powerful in cyber activity. And that's like an uncensored model now, meaning it can truly respond to cyber threat if you are the one using it against an attack. So that's for DeepSeek. There's this, I've talked about DeepSeek, I've talked about Gwen. I think I'm missing out now. Okay. This Meta also announced that they are open sourcing Muse. That is very interesting. I think I'm missing it up now if they have open sourced it or they are still going to release the weight. But they've announced that the weight is going to be released. And
they've released it's open weight. It has been released already.
Awesome. Yeah, open weight. Yeah, amazing.
One. Yeah, a specific one was released.
Yeah, it's impressive that I'm so surprised because in the generation before Muse Park and the rest, Muse 1.2, Muse 1.1, they had, I want to remember those names now, about 3 sets of models before now, which was not the best. And yet they were expensive, they were larger, and they did not even open source them. But I'm glad that even a better model now, they are now open sourcing it. That is good. NVIDIA also open source another model, NeMo Ultra Fast, Ultra Thin. Is it Thin? There was a name given to it, which is faster. It's 30 billion parameter model. Is now faster than the regular one. A lot of models are in the open source community today. So if you have a machine, If you have device that can run them, you might get some value at this point. Just try pushing the limit of what you're able to do before with open source, run locally, and see that with this latest model, similar gig RAM requirements, but more intelligence. So what can you still do with that? I'm going to stop there. Any other updates?
SAI also released Grok 2 4.6.
True.
So,
True.
personally, I don't get to see the difference between the different version of Grok. Actually, I don't get to see much differences there. So, but they released that. So I think for Meta, the use is Glimmer, and it's just 30B. So I was released
Yeah.
as open weight. So
Okay.
unlike the Llama generation that they released it as open source, both the weight and the code was released. But for the Glimmer, it's just open weight. They just release the weight on Hugging Face, so you can download that. But yeah, something else that I also want to mention, which is also the impact of EU policy. I don't know. I don't want to be criticizing EU policy a lot, but Mistral 5 years ago was one of the lead in open source development. Like
Especially
basically, in
small
fact,
models.
they were the first set of people to show us that mixture of experts could actually work as skill. Google brought mixture of experts, but they showed us that mixture of experts could also work as skill when they released their Mistral models. Now, since then, now fully, I can say categorically now that they are no longer a research lab. They're now a provider. What they're developing is just basically harness for every other model to work for basically Chinese model, DeepSeek and stuff like that. They are not producing any model anymore. Since then, till now, even this year, everything they've done this year is all about harness. It's all about harness. Oh, let's do this harness. Let's host this model for other people to use. Let's find a way to. That's what they've been doing this year. And that's not for a company that that had almost equal valuation as OpenAI as then. It was like the only source of hope for EU to do anything in AI. It's just now it's gone. It's gone now. That hope is gone now. Now they just put it honest now.
And that is sad. I mean, to be honest,
Yeah, it's sad.
I'm beginning to hypothesize now that we will end up having three divisions. Chinese totally uncontrolled. They can continue to do what they like. America is going to yank away from Europe because the regulation is just crazy. Is American EU AI company, they will, just the way they were doing with product, they were going to do that, continue, the gap will grow with Europe, where they will release their products, release to the American market where there's lesser regulations, and then say later in the summer, later in fall, it will be available in EU and regions and other regions. Because the way EU is going,
exactly.
they're just frustrating even innovation and in the name of regulation.
Yes. It's I think I agree with you. It's gonna be that way. You release something for America, then later on you have it. So you only be behind and behind. You only have to. You will not get the top of the shelf.
Yeah.
I don't actually know what's happening there, but this is what it is.
Yeah. Well, all right. That's also interesting. I mean, because I love Mistral model, especially when they released some smaller model last year, and including even audio model, and they were really that competitive, like you mentioned. They will have been the Gwen of China now, because they also have these smaller models that can do well and they can optimize on them, and their unique approach, like you said, mixture of experts it's just so good. And other people are using that now, other labs now, and it's just so sad that they should have even do more than what we have now. EU happened. Okay. Any other thought? There is this movement of people from one company to the other. Google is dying. That's a big misinformation. Google is not dying. But what's happening to Google? I still believe that Google have this. Instead of they are still releasing another flash model. They've moved to 3.7 flash. What do you need?
Why we still don't have 3.5 core?
Yes. And it's just not what it is. You can see this restructure now where
The problem with Google is that they are very big. They are very, very, you know, it's the same thing that also happens to Meta as well. That's why I think Meta has to restructure and then restructure and have a lab dedicated to this thing, because the way OpenAI and Anthropic are moving, they move at a very fast way. You think Google takes that time to get things perfectly before it's launched. You understand? OpenAI will test on customers, and Anthropic will test on customers. They can get feedback, but Google wants everything perfectly aligned for them. And so the same thing was happening to Meta. So they felt like, oh, let's just do this. People they are concerned with science. They're not concerned with commercial commercial prowess. It's about science. But so that's why they have to create a new division to actually handle those things. Like, oh, like if you want to be competitive in this thing, the way every other person is going, you need to have like dedicated things, not just some people who do it on the side, like for knowledge purposes. So that's the thing that is happening. And also the other and search is also another thing. Like Google doesn't really want any products to compete with their search in their instant. But which is surprising to me. Google is one of the few companies that I know that produces competing products with their products. Google does something and they do something else that's competing with their own products. So that's always been the way Google does things. Like they compete. Internal competition is so strong that's why it's difficult for external to compete with them, because they have internal competition. So but I think it's just that restructuring that needs to happen for them to actually do this thing at the very last. So that's what I think. I don't think it's because they don't have talent. They do, but it's a very, very big org. And you're like OpenAI. The only thing OpenAI is doing is this. The only thing Anthropic is doing is this. They don't have any other. This is their focus. If they have 1,000 employees, those 1,000 employees are doing this.
Yeah, man. It's just because even if you go ahead and release Pro, if they even release Gemini 4.0 Pro, for example, now, it must outpace the only way to stay frontier is to make sure it outpaces whatsoever is in the industry today, and they will still try to catch up with it for 6 months without eating it. That's the only way they can stay frontier. So that within that 6 months, they also have a variant, another way to come in, but they can't move at that pace, given the way big the organization is, as mentioned. But it's a big lesson. They've done a restructure. I'm not sure how good that will be, because this guy now has moved away from heading DeepMind, has become the chair of the for entire Alphabet. What is the co-founder of DeepMind now? I've forgotten his name. The one leading Google DeepMind. Well, I'll mention his name when I get it. They've done a restructure. It's now because Jeff Dean has moved away. He went to Discovery Loop. Jeff Dean used to be this big guy heading Alphabet. Demis Hassabis, yes. Demis Hassabis has moved away from leading DeepMind now, becoming the chief AI for the entire Alphabet. Someone else is now leading DeepMind. They've done a restructure now. So Jeff Dean has retired.
Become like chief scientist. So
yes, chief scientist for Alphabet, not DeepMind. Remember the structure is still there. DeepMind is still the micro one trying to do this. The fact that
Alphabet is like
Google everything. Yeah. So the fact that they moved into Alphabet just means, even though it's still overseeing everything, it just creates more bureaucracy as well, because you can still lead things when it's still within DeepMind.
Oh yes,
but maybe now
he is now, he can oversee everything
and probably move things faster too.
Exactly.
Yeah, maybe that's another side.
Because something Google have been doing so far is whenever they have anything released, they try to implement it through all
still go through to the
system.
Top. Yeah.
You have it in Google Cloud, you have it in Google Workspace, all different Google products, you have the model implemented. So maybe they want to move faster now. That's why
I can see that right now. That putting where he is now might help create a faster pathway for product release via DeepMind as well, because he is the one who has been facing this challenge. Now he's leading at the top there. He's able to make all systems align in such a way that they can do things better. Hopefully Google will bounce back. I'm just doing it because of the customers. We need more computing this thing. And Ridwan, speaking to Grok model, I have had 3 encounters with Grok model. My very first encounter with Grok 4.1 fast. There has not been any model that is not capable but give me so much hope about fixing bug like Grok 4.1
fast. The one within Cursor at that time, right?
Yes. Yeah. That every build, it will continuously run it will loop, rebuild until and fix all the errors it is done.
It's the first model I have tested Go. I mean, what is currently called Go.
Yes.
The first model I have witnessed it with.
Yeah.
Because just give him a
yes,
go.
Exactly, Ola. See the new ones. I don't tend to see the differences between the new one and like the previous ones. Like there's a new version. I'm like, okay, I'm not really seeing the differences. So the difference maybe because I'm not testing it extensively.
Yeah, you're right. But 4.5 way better than 4.1. 4.5 is really crazy. 4.6 is said to have used it twice. But the disadvantage of 4.6 to me is that it can hallucinate on coverage. So if you ask to fix an issue, there could be 10 parts that needs to be touched. It can get the issue fixed and only touch 7 out of the 10 parts. So you need to have a higher model, like probably Fabu, or most importantly for me, GPT 5.6 so high to do the implementation plan.
To be the aggregator.
Yeah, do the plan and then get 4.6 to execute, because that plan has touched every area that needs to be touched. So 4.6 can then implement.
Okay, so the Grok CLI, you can call the model for
from open from the codex this thing. I can tell you to call Grok to implement.
Okay. Oh no, that's good. I didn't know that because I used to call Codex from Claude.
So I used to tell Codex to, whenever you have the plan well detailed, and make sure you put some element that this part must not be missed out, because the model you are calling have the potential. I used to tell Codex that way, that has the potential of building this feature or solving it, but in the back end, there are a few areas that are left that could cause the technical debt. So make sure you give that explicit instruction, and after it's done, go and check if those areas are done. That is the best way to still use it today. For me, it's is it fast? It's faster, but it has a challenge. It consumes more tokens now than 4.5. Even though it have more intelligent, but consume more tokens. So it's still a bit expensive than 4.5, even though they are the same pricing. But because it takes more token and is a reasoning model, so it overall is still a little bit expensive than 4.5. Yeah, what more? Yeah, OpenAI released the fast model now on Cerebrus, only for few people that can run 500 and 750 tokens per second. Grok also released Grok bots. Yeah, Grok bots.
Which Grok? Grok Q or Grok?
No, Grok of XAI. And finally, Cursor acquisition is completed. It is now part of SpaceX now.
Okay.
So OpenAI
Elon Musk found what he was looking for.
Yes, they have paid.
So
in fact, they have changed.
Yeah,
their Twitter handle has already changed to company. They have already associated themselves with SpaceX as their parent company. And yeah, Grokbot is just like I've not used it because I don't have Cursor subscription. Well, I've watched videos and different scenarios. People have been praising it to be this AI model. It's still an agent, but you can spin up multiple agents that are specialized in doing something. I don't get the model. I still prefer harness like Codex and the rest than agent by agent conversation, because that agent is streamlined to one specific purpose. And meanwhile, you can have a single agent that can spin up multiple agents to do other things. All right. 30 minutes of catching up with the industry. In fact, we could spend a whole day and still not exhaust this. So it's time to move on to the next, which is project demo. I will be calling on, the best way, ship date. That's the word we have now. Don't forget to check in if you have not checked in. All right. I will be calling on individuals now. If I will call on everyone, I don't know how many people we have on this call. So I will call on every member to tell us and share their screen where they are. And also those of us here too, we will also share whatsoever we built. If we have not built anything, interestingly, people have dropped off this call. We are okay. Let me see. All right. We have ourselves. Good news. All right. So today we don't have so much people online joining. I'm going to go back to the slide, ship day. And then first, drum roll. We have 3 people. We have 3 people here in person. We're going to be sharing whatever we've been able to build. We're going to discuss any challenge. So first, I will go.
Oh no, let me go.
Okay, Bola.
Mine will be quick.
Yeah, okay, Bola.
I thought we'd be quick because I don't have anything to showcase, and why? Because I stopped working recently, so a break, and I allow myself to have like 2 weeks break to breathe, to be a house husband. And definitely, I think from next week I will start, working again, and it will be mainly on getting new skills, because so far I think that is a conversation we had, Ola, you and I. Fatima Balogun, okay, but that's Balogun from Nigeria, sure.
Yes.
Because that's JU. Okay, so we have been using LLM to build stuff. I have built stuff in my last job when I was data director in a company back in Africa before I resigned from my position. I have been like enterprise application to boost operational efficiency. I was kind of problem solver, and anything that can use data to get done. So I built several micro applications that help several teams within the company to get things done faster. I work on invoice extraction where so we have this business where we have a mobility business, but not all drivers could afford buying a new car, or a new motorcycle, or a new tricycle. So we have this financing business line where the company bought the vehicle for them, and now the driver will pay on daily basis, stuff like that. And we collaborate with, let's say, manufacturer in the country where we operate: Benin, Cameroon, Togo, and Gabon and Congo as well, 5 countries in Africa. And let's say we have this maintenance deal where every month, several vehicles will go to maintenance directly at the how do you call it? I forgot the name in English again. Anyway, so the company will send us, let's say, invoices every month. Invoices like up to thousands of invoices, maintenance invoices, and the financing manager of each country have to enter the data of those invoices in our company system for reconciliation purpose and to get the money to pay the guys. So this used to take like a week, or let's say sometimes 8 days of work, because all the invoices were paper invoice. So they have to go from one to the last one and collect the data for themselves and insert the data in the system. So I work on an invoice extraction application. It was, personally, it was nothing, let's say, fancy. It was nothing complicated, but it helped a lot the company, because before I left, all they have to do is to scan all the invoices and load it in the micro application that I created, and then we use Gemini to get it done. So Gemini will just go through all the invoices and extract all the information they want, and automatically export the data into a Google Sheet. And now we have another micro application on which I work with an engineer before I left. And with the data collected from the invoices, we have, let's say, the vehicle ID, stuff like that. And based on our, let's say, operational data, we know how much we collected for each vehicle based on the vehicle ID. So we have a reconciliation that is automatically done as well. So we know if we can pay for this vehicle because we have collected, or if we had collected less, and now we need to maybe call the driver and say, "Oh, guy, we need to pay more because that." So that's what really great. We work on several stuff as well, but this is just an example and something that used to take up to 8 working days for those financing managers per country. They can get it done like most 2 hours. So that's something I work on, and I have been able to build it using LLM. I work on several aspects as well. I mean, I have like 14 micro applications that I built before leaving that company.
Wow.
So that's all about this now that I have left. I didn't work end-to-end on new projects yet. I have started some stuff, but I'm not done yet. So maybe next time I will be able to share those with you guys. But that's all for the moment.
All right. Thank you, Bola. Though you were not able to pick up something now because you had this career break or break for yourself for the last 2 weeks, and which is needed. And there's a lesson from there. The lesson is, as much as we are building, we also need breaks sometimes. And when you are on break, make it a break. You know, break from a break from yes. It's been a struggle for me. But when I went out with my family for a break during the summer, I didn't go with my laptop, but when there was some fire on the mountain on Itumo, I still have to summon Codex on my mobile to look into that issue and fix. So while it's not a dedicated work, but I still send some prompts.
Yeah.
But of course, I look forward to more time where I get to actually experience break as a break. So do you see that? First lesson. Even if you're unable to do things like this for yourself as a career man or woman, as we are in, there are moments that we need break. And if within those breaks you're unable to work on something, hey, it's fine. It's a break. So let it be break and take a break from those things. Bola will be able to share with us in the next coming series some of those things that he is building too. So we'll definitely get to see those presentations. All right. And we might look at it this way, that going forward, so at some week interval, we might have 1 slot per person to still be able to share whatever they're building progressively. But Maya, do you want to go?
I will, but it's not loading.
Oh, it's not loading?
No.
So do you need some minutes?
Yes.
Can you put it in your browser?
Yeah, I'm trying.
Go to Chrome and just press localhost. It should be able to just open the browser in external browser.
Yeah, I
Oh, it's still working. Yeah, so it's trying to go there. All right. So for me, I think of 2 things, and I'm able. I will share one. I will share 2, but I might be able to just demo one. One is a very useful product, and I learned through while doing that. The very first app I'm going to show is one application that I've been using for sometimes. GitHub. Go to our repository. I open source it. We have applications like that, but this particular one, let's go to that into my eyes. Sander, okay. Don't forget that playing with AI now. So Sanda it's open source, but what does this mean? It's I have a board of Linux which I built specifically on Linux installation because I have some CUDA NVIDIA GPU on that. I'm leveraging the GPU acceleration. It's a desktop application that have CLI, but the goal is for voice audio generation with open source model. So I built an app about 3 or 4 weeks ago for speech therapy, how the kid can learn how to to talk, to read, actually to read. It has a lot of lesson learning in 12 stages. And I use Suno to generate music, Suno AI. I use 11 AI, 11 Lab API to generate the wordings, the feedback from the, for every exercise and the rest. And that's, I exhausted my credit, and that's just to look, I can actually build something using all available open source model. So I built this. And what it means is you can put in a text and it become an audio. You can fine tune it. You can even clone your own voice. You can clone your voice. I can't display that here because I'm on Mac and I've not installed it yet, but I've tested all of it on Mac and it has project. That's something that I built in here because most of this model will not do well when you are trying to have it to transcribe 1 minute, 2 minutes of audio at once. Those open source model does not have the power, but you can break it as a project. So, and that will give it continuity. Project will give it continuity instead of, because that what people, fidelity, you might mean that voice fidelity when you are trying to transcribe 5 minutes of something and you are using the same voice sample, it might break. Or if you break into a project in the app, I'm unable to show that app today because of my Linux machine. I should have installed this version here. You're able to generate different voice type. In fact, the samples I've generated, I'm just astonished as to how really close to human is sounding, and that the fact that this thing is free and is available and is open source. I use Kokoro TS. It's one of those available lab that released their model. Chatterbox is another model. Even Microsoft Speech to Text STS. STT model. There are about 5 different open source models that is being used for speech to text. That was my major focus, not text to speech rather, not speech to text. Whisper is a very good one already, for speech to text, but text to speech, there is a lot of issue there. So I'm just playing with that. So I have an array of those models now, and I'm also building benchmark for them so that whenever they are better than each other, I know what is better based on timing, based on efficiency, based on the ability to clone the voice, based on multiple speakers speaking at the same time. I will be able to demo that, but of course it's available. You can always, it's open source already. You can always get it directly from this repo and see if you run directly on your desktop app. It's a Tauri app. The second one that I'm going to demo is app.des. So I discussed this, the building email infrastructure. In fact, this one you're able to use it in case you want to build an application that require sending one form of email to people for authentication, for different things, email notification and the rest. This is Resend plus Mailchimp. That is what you have in one here. And that's what I did. And I went through a lot of the sum of the infrastructure myself, of course, with the help of AI, but troubleshooting and understanding what exactly that meant. And at this current phase now, I'm warming up. So that's the most difficult part of it. Those email infrastructure services need to be warmed up in a way that it will not be repeatedly appearing in people's junk, because those established services use known service. For example, they use Amazon SCS, which is the send email service from Amazon. Even Resend, they are still using Amazon SCS. I have Amazon SCS, I've applied, they've approved, it's part of this infrastructure, but I also built mine instead of Amazon SCS. It's hosted on a VPS and it's still serving. So I have both tunnel to route some emails through. I could just, it's by invitation, that's why it's just sign in. You can also create account, but let me, oops, yeah, it has two-factor authentication to everything is kind of built into this one. I'm going to show, just want to show this, yeah, email, verification of code, authentication now. Second, okay. Another thing that we done to this app is it has, as you can see, it has two modes. There is this full agentic experience where all you want to do is just talk to an agent, and that is fine. And you have approve for me and different approval stage. Draft August, this is instead of draft August, I can say draft September, for example. Anything you want to do for your audience and the rest, this agent has the ability to run this and just resolve it, just help you do things. It's composing email is done, drafting, and this is September email update that I kind of did out right here. I can open campaign, I can open a Canva and see it right here, but because I've Zoom now, I think so. Now, this one say continue. That is why I didn't format it for it. But I'm just going to move away from this test about this chart, AI charts. It's done drafting, you can preview, which is what I have in campaign here. But to close this guy, there's a lot of work. I have to zoom back in and close that, and zoom up. I'll work on that responsiveness. Yeah, so I will have this. I can go directly to the campaign, which will take me to the classic experience. So this is the classic experience to the campaign, where you can manually do all of these things by yourself. And not just yourself, even with the help of AI too, because you can edit the design and you can still use AI when you're editing this design. For example, yeah, I can do the AI, I can new draft. Yep, what do you want? There's really nothing that I want there. Tell us. Community service, something like that. I said drafts. Yeah, begin to do the work and it's going to just rewrite this draft. It's going to community apply drafts. Yep, it's done to redesigning now. You see now, yeah. And this is way better now back here now to this design. But other activity, you can, for example, when you create your new account, you have to come over to developer and domain. When settings. What I will share is domain under delivery. So when you create a new account here, you have to do your verification for the domain you are using, just the way you do it in Resend. Just come and you paste the domain, you continue. It's going to give you some keys to put in your DNS. Once you put that there, it's going to verify your domain and you're good to go. You get your API key, all the things you need for API key and webhook, you generate them, and then you are good to go. When you integrate that on your app, it automatically manages the sending of your email, authentication, and the rest. And if you want to do campaign, you can also run campaign here. You can import users. This is Mitumo, for example. On that connection, you can actually import records from contact only, scan contacts. Yeah, you can import record directly from Mitumo. See, it's right now scanning from Mitumo platform because I've not done this yet. It's going to go over 1,000. So if you are integrated to your website, it can automatically pull your existing data from there into this platform so that it can become your email marketing platform. And you can build a pipeline. You see, it's even running, it's doing all this now. And I've not, yeah, 1,238. It's asking me that this one needs review. Probably there are some, yeah, name is not there, but they only have email. So I can review and approve or skip or do anything I want to do, view details, link existing, skip record. These are the ones that are ready. And these are not, I can close this. I can always come back here anytime I want. I can come to review import. I can see them here and import if I need. So you can connect to your platform and be able to just pull all the data from there. And every other thing, your media is here, your branding, you can set your branding, everything you want to do. The form, you can create landing page form that people can fill in, and there's automation alongside. This is people where you import contacts. And because I've integrated to Mitumo and I've set some pipeline, when people register on Mitumo, it actually also creates them as a contact here, because this is going to manage email marketing. It creates them as a contact. There's a new user that registered there. And you can see the different pipeline community members or different pipeline collaborators. These are organizers. So if I want to send something to only organizers, it's able to do marketing email that target only organizers and the rest. So there's also automation that you can set up. You can build a full automation manually, and AI can also do that for you. He's trying to load automation experience. Where you can drag and drop to do your trigger. When this happens, you want to add a condition, you can put the condition there, so you can do all of those things as well. But of course, all of these things, if we toggle back to the AI experience, the AI can always do that as well. The build automation can do all of these things. Verify sending domain, how is deliverable. I send it, it's gonna check my deliverability and show me details. So this is my own use case that I work on during this period. Even though I had begun this work before, but it was this period I focused on making it this ready AI agent. It has MCP. You can connect it directly to Cursor or Codex, and Codex will also do the same thing without you coming to this platform. It's available for community member in case you are building a product that needs email and you want to know, I want to do email authentication and the rest. I can send the link so that I can register and then get the API key and use for free. For now, free. Okay. Any feedback? Since I'm the first to show a real working solution.
I have a question.
Yeah, please.
What motivated you to build this? Is it for learning purpose? Is it for real need? Is it for business purpose? What was your motivation behind email?
Thank you, Bola. My motivation was actually thinking of scaling what I've started building, like Mitumo. I've built a couple of products, like today over probably 15 to 20 of that I use at different point in time, and we have people using some as well. And the biggest of them that consume email service is Mitumo. And we are building a very lean business with Mitumo. Just myself and David that is funding everything going on with Mitumo. And I began to estimate for growth. We're having some big accounts. For example, there's an event happening in October, and it's going to have about probably close to 10,000 people physically. It's happening at National Theatre in Nigeria. And it's Mitumo they're using. They're going to absorb our mobile app, everything fully. Email, notification, the platform itself sending reminder, different sessions, everything. It's going to be in hundreds of thousands. Because if they're having 10,000 people alone, 10 email, we should have more than that. Even feedback for sessions, everything is hundreds of thousands already. And how about other growths that are coming up on the platform alongside this? There's another one happening in Port Harcourt. About 6,000 people are going to gather. Tickets also on Mitumo. I'm just looking at the infrastructure value of, okay, and if I'm depending on another email service, the amount I'll be paying in dollar in percent is more than what is even paying the costing of this service and some of these things. It's not, we have not raised money, it's not scalable, we are pricing in Naira, it's still not scalable. And I have several other solutions I'm building. Recent will not allow you to add more than one domain for free. You have to upgrade before you can have up to 10 domains. And after 10 domains, you can't have more, you have to request for approval, and they have to approve, you have to pay more before you can have more than 10 domains. So those domain added. And because of that, I have two different subscription. I pay monthly for Resend. So I began to look at the estimation. What it would go to that point where we have millions of email. That will be a lot of cost in dollars. So, and today, Mitumo does not have email marketing campaign system. Mailchimp is very expensive. Others are they are so expensive. Integration, sending data to that platform again, it's just a lot of overhead costs, both on cost and resources. We need someone to be managing that. Today, with what I've built now, and that's what motivated, okay, what will it take? And when I started building this, I'm asking myself, even if it is for me and not the product I've built that is using this, at the end, cutting that cost, whatever I'm spending, is still a big save. It's a very big save. And even the same experience that these guys are doing, Resend, they are using Amazon SES, and that's the same service I'm using. So the reason why it's expensive, they pay Amazon SES for those things, and they still have to put up, their own cut on it so that they can make profit and pay us out. And I'm using the same Amazon SES now, and well, even for 1 million or 5 million emails per month or per week, I'm paying peanuts for Amazon because it's an infrastructure that I'm using. I'm not using the finance sector. I'm not using the SaaS. Resend is a SaaS. Amazon SES is the infrastructure side. So since I'm able to manage that, I pay way less. And even when it comes push to push, I've also built a MTA, which is same thing as Amazon SES, but is the one that will manage credibility of the email senders and the rest, so that it's not resting in spam. Amazon already paid that system and it's warm up, it's known, it's global. So it will take time, take some months or maybe even a year for
kind of training
for that one to get there. But it send email today, it does all those things. And if you mark it not spam in your inbox, it helps over time. Yeah, so I did that. And when I was doing that, I said to myself, LLM has gone past the stage of thinking the problem is too hard to build. You can build that. So I began with the fundamental of first principle of thinking. I told Codex, see, I'm not saying this thing must be built. This is not it's hard or it's not hard. If Elon Musk is building this product, will you say it's not possible? That's the same way I was arguing with Codex. I used that to drive Codex to work at the technical difficulties. Bring them up. Okay. What will it take to build them? And we started building them. So that was part of the motivation, was finding a way to cut costs and also build something that every of my other services can use. And what's come to us, people subscribe probably HANA and just pay $50 per year, and you're using that would never whatever I'm paying with Amazon SES. And since I'm not running it as a business, I'm cutting the cost.
Mainly using it for Mitumo because that way.
Even if someone else wants to use it and wants to use big time and probably within my network and system, you have to pay $50 per year, $100 per year, and it's okay. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
You're welcome. And thanks, Bola. You reminded me because you saw this once and you said I should, when I was still building the AI part, and you said I should leave the classic experience, which is this dashboard. It's the classic experience for the dashboard. That people that still want to click and they can always go ahead and click and do those things. While when you click on agent, come back here.
Cool. You keep both. That's really like the scope.
Yeah. You still want full agent experience is there, and you can call it via API. It has full API documentation that coders can use and automatically set things up for you.
What AI integration do we have here?
So
is it GrowQ or?
Yeah, I'm using GrowQ.
Or OpenRouter?
I'm using GrowQ.
GrowQ.
It's cheap. Now, be able to run. And one thing that was done in this app is I built this AI experience as an annex. So it's not probably an AI that just getting the prompt and that's why it can reason multi-steps. It can build a template and do all those things and display and send. It can generate ask contacts, help you manage your contact, and every of those. It can do those things, multi-step reasoning. And this is why I approved all this, approved for me and different approval. So that you can select the kind of, it can automatically run things for you. If you put trusted like this, go to have a password and authentication. And when I put out authentication, you say that authentication, it can run things automatically going forward without you saying approve. Because right now, if you want to send something under approve for me, it's still going to ask me when they send something out, I should approve. And when I approve, then it's going to send out the communication. Yeah, it's a deep analysis I'm still trying to strengthen so that this become the real experience for building. If you are creating a campaign, you can understand your weather, the event happening, your environment, use that, what is trending around your client or audience. It's segment your audience based on the data that you have, and is able to understand what is trending and what can appear in terms of campaign to each of those audience categories. Create segment for them and do all of those things. That is where it's going to. All right. Thank you, Bola. Any further feedback or question for me? Thank you.
Very
Thank you. You also see possibility, right? Yes. And that's the goal. This is this month. I wish I can do more. And that's pushing me. Like, if this is possible, there is something more complex, more better that can solve problem, can also be possible. Yeah. So if you are thinking through things, just remember, Allah showed us something like this, then it's possible. If it's this codex, you have to build it because Allah did this. I can point you to the sites. He's going to go through it and say, okay, I think I know what I'm going to do that. Yeah. Online friends stay here. Are we still connected? Because it's time for us to also hear from. That's okay. If it's written down, we don't read down, might not be able to pass coming right now. Okay, Ola. Good afternoon. You're still muted. If you want to tell us about your experience, were you able to build anything like we said, even if you're unable to build? Oh, Naya, it should be your turn. Are you ready now? Anything? Is he trying to get it wrong?
I got the admin part open, but I can't demo the actual app yet.
Or is the actual app also ready?
It should be. It just went low.
It's S4. Okay. Let me have troubleshoot this. You're aware that you're doing the demo, right?
It's gonna be on the mobile.
Yes, you can go back. NPX Expo starts, so we come to next. NPX Expo starts. Expo starts. Yes. Start there to show something, and then we'll take on that spin up there.
How do I join it when you lose so I can
Your email. That's the last one. I'll drop the link to you. You can unmute online if you want to talk at any point in time. Let me drop the link to you.
I just want to say you guys are doing great.
Oh, thanks, bro. Did you get email? Did you used to get email from me too for this week? Started, yeah. Okay, let me share airdrop. Yep, your markers. Airdrop code required.
Oh, 951
51
351.
341. Good airdrop. Yep. Link set. It's good. Yeah, no, you're fine. You're fine. No one else. Huh? You'll be fine. You'll be fine.
Should I just show?
Yes. Yes, share the screen. So we have Naya, who is going to share a solution. Before she does that, you can share your screen. I will just say this. The very first day we started this community, she was here. And there's someone that has challenged me in terms of openness and readiness to learn and to grow in her skills. She's one of them. I was really impressed from day one when she came from a background in design. And she even shared with us how her position with AI, kind of replacing roles that has to do with design, that she rather uses it to do more. And today she's able to also prove that to us. I remember the first time she got Codex downloaded, installed, the Llama and the rest. Today, those things are relatable to her. And beyond that, she's able to even build something for herself, and she continues to grow in that part. So today, Naya is going to share briefly with us about the same solution that she's building. Okay, over to you, Naya.
Okay, so as you know, Peter introduced me to this community.
Yes.
I met him at Create Little Rock, which is a young professional organization where we're both board members, and we decided to make an app for that community so that they could track how many people are coming to events and have a way for the people to engage with each other, get to know each other. If they're new to Little Rock, they can learn about events happening locally and just share their thoughts on their experiences. So that's why he says, "Good morning, Peter." He helps me a lot in the beginning and kind of let me take over it. So yeah,
Yeah.
but this is the admin's side of it, and it just tells you all the background information that we thought the organizers might find interesting and helpful. And we can create new events here.
Wow.
And just have an overview of things. There's still things that don't work completely,
Yeah,
but they
yeah,
can, like,
can be fixed. Yeah.
yeah, there's just little things that don't work. The idea is there.
Interesting.
And this will be a mobile app, but
Yeah, but you are getting the mobile app to run so that I can demo using code base. Okay, okay. This is you can even use this mobile app to demo. Yeah, this is the one spin up from the device, so we could use this to also see how. But of course, the best experience is when it's a mobile phone. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, you can walk us through this. So this is what it looks like for events coming up, right?
Yeah.
Sunset Social on South Main. Is it happening tomorrow or the demo event?
it's a demo.
Oh, no. Yeah, but this is really nice. Wow. Wow.
Coffee and career
Yeah.
event.
Oh, that is a demo event.
Coffee and career because of the coffee.
Yeah.
I have to take that one away.
Wow, this is nice.
So, you can see this is where you would interact with people. It's
Mm,
supposed to be like Instagram. I guess the images
Yeah,
are coming up. Like, you can, like,
yeah.
put pictures, add comments.
yeah, people like, wow.
And then, like I said, if you don't know things in Little Rock, here's a place where you can find out more. And then, like, Great Little Rock sometimes has cool discounts. So
Oh,
if they have any affiliations, you can add it here and get discounts and stuff.
wow.
And
The
Peter
pulse.
had a great idea to make this like a gamified app so that people have a more incentive to keep coming. And so he compared it kind of to Duolingo, where if you have like a streak or like Snapchat,
Yeah.
you just like get rewards for like however many levels you reach in the streak.
Mm,
And then you get different tiers, which you can redeem for like prizes, like maybe a t-shirt or water bottle or something like that.
Wow.
And so the QR code refreshes, and then the admin will just scan it with their device, which has to be built out too. And that's how they'll keep track of who's coming to what events and things like that. So these are like some of the rewards you can redeem. And
wow,
you can read your profile.
wow.
And
Okay.
yeah, some things don't work. And also the problems I ran into is I don't think I know everything that I don't know. So when I run into issues building in the AI, I don't know what questions to ask it. So I'm trying to really explain to the AI that I don't know how to do. So that's been a process. And I don't know how to make an actual app. I don't think I'm really at that step yet because there's so many bugs to work out, but I don't know what to do when to get to that step. But this is for another.
Wow.
Bravo.
Bravo. Yeah. This is, I must tell you this, the fact that you took over one of the most difficult phase of this AI building tools with AI is transferred knowledge.
Yeah.
It's easier if someone is the only one working on the products, and now giving that old code base to someone else, assisted by AI, transferred to another assisted by AI, and you are still able to get it to start working, still running through, fixing some things, trying to get it to fully work. You have learned, you have grown a lot from someone who does not even know how to get this to work to someone who can still spin it up and run it and then play around and fix some things. That is incredible. And you mentioned something which is very valid, that you don't know what you don't know. I tell you today that that is the beginning of the solution. Knowing what you don't know. Knowing that you don't know what you don't know, rather. Yeah. Knowing that you don't know what you don't know is a very good place, because that in itself is wisdom. And when you're engaging with AI, and this is where this kind of community helps you, because you want to know if you are someone that don't know what you don't know, how can you still end up building something that factor that into it and always make it the right decision for you. So, for example, today, if you have used Codex to some point and you have exposed more of your working pattern, this app, Codex, can, when plugged your phone, can troubleshoot it via Wi-Fi, run it and test, because all those screens that is not working, Codex can run everything, test and troubleshoot and go and be building, fix them. All these things we are saying, Codex can run them. But there's also growth where you kind of let Codex know. You can say a new chat session with Codex that does not require any working on the project. So for a couple of weeks or months, I've been using Codex right now to build some tools, but this is who I am, and these are some of the challenges that I often face. First, I come from this design as a background, and I'm working on my own personal work portfolio project, working on this app. I've never built any of this thing like this before, but it is possible in this age because it all starts with the idea. As you are trying to show the problem, also make it know that it is possible. You know, it is possible because we have capable tools like Codex right now. This is what I would prefer. Knowing fully well that sometimes when I ask you to do something, I might not know every other area that needs to be touched. So you need to update memory so that you can always make sure you do a thorough fixing whenever you're implementing something that is not just a UI change. Whatsoever needs to be done at the back end, plan them alongside and consider them without over-engineering. That keyword, over-engineering, is very important because sometimes it begins to go and be everything that is not needed is just over-engineering things. No, we don't need over-engineering. And just for me to learn, if you can also give me a snippet or a digest, it could be every day. It's something simple about this whole project I'm working on, just so that you can show me and just have a digest in a thread. And in that thread, you can even build some visuals to illustrate what I need to do so that I can learn, be my learning guide. And that way I can catch up with everything about this application and product that I'm building and also building with AI. That you can go back to the recording of this video and extract that part that I described and be able to just put it to Codex. It can update Codex memory to know you better. If I'm learning today, things that I'm learning, I will tell Codex, I'm trying to learn this on Cloud Code. I'm trying to learn this concept, not the regular content out there, the way I used to learn. What exactly, where should I start from? You will realize where Codex or Cloud Code will start with me is different from whatsoever content I've seen online. Because it knows what I already know, it can use, even though you don't know this, but you have built things with this based on how your chat history. I can use that relatable experience to say, like when you were building this app, you're having this feature, it can use those experiences to guide you. I'm using that today in many of those things I'm trying to learn. And that can help you, especially that learning opportunity around it. Just to open this up, Marcella and Bola were embarking on a new learning journey. And one of the things I did was to build a learning annex on my system, not on cloud. But I will share later on that. But it's the same concept of based on all the things I've been doing, I want to learn this new skill. I don't even know how to start. I don't know what is the best way because of my learning option. In fact, when you generate the first one, I look and say, I don't understand what you have written here. You assume that I know what this thing is. I don't know what it means. So can you create a grocery and just let me so that I can know just relatable examples? Because you want to know. You get it now. So while letting AI know who you are, where you are, and it can be very helpful, one. And two, give it opportunity for you to learn. And that's why you can say, okay, create, it could be every day, it could be every week for the next 3 weeks. Every day I want you to look at this application and just give me some learning point around it. How we build something there and make why did you build it that way? Is it regular convention? Do a visual because Codex can still generate image and do all those things alongside that can help you understand things better. Do a visual and the rest. And so just keep it to a like 5 minutes read daily. Yeah.
Something you can also do at the project code. I don't know if you are using Code or Codex, so it will be agent.md or prod.md, depending on the CLI you are using. You can add like a line just to tell the agent that every time they implement some fix, every time they implement something, whether it is a bug fixing or a new feature implemented, they should create like a small snippet explaining to you in basic language what they have done, how they have been able to achieve that, and how important it is for your project. So every time you ask them to do something, they will do whatever you ask them to do, but they will also give you that small snippet that give you the kind of explanation that will help you to learn something new. And trust me, if let's say every day you do something on that project, it means that every day you will have at least one snippet. And for a month, trust me, you can learn a lot.
Especially about the project. That's very valid.
Exactly.
And in that rule, Codex can update it itself. That rule, you could ask it to create those as a separate markdown file. Because if it's in a chart thread, you can lose it, you can miss that, but if it's in a markdown file in the project root, it could be a markdown file for each fix. So a single markdown file, just go and edit and update what was implemented, the date, the time, and what does that, just the way God has described it.
I used to do one thing, but I think we can do two. The thing that I do is I add it in the project root as well. So every time the agents do something, they will register it in a markdown file called changelog. So every time they do something, they will register it in a markdown file called changelog. That helps me have the history of all the action, all the implementation, everything they have done. You can have a file called maybe learning log.
Mhm.
So every time they do something, they will also log your snippet part into the learning log. So at every time you can come back and read it again to understand what.
Well, yeah. Another thing to add, so that when you go back to this section of the video and you listen again, you can extract the transcript and the rest, is tone of voice. The way AI might explain, even though it makes it simple, you might still not understand. Even if it writes out why I did this, why this is this. So go back and read it. Is this thing, do you really understand this? Because if you don't understand, copy and give her that. I like the change log you created, but I'm finding it hard to really understand it. Can you make it simpler and easier in a way that can kind of have good understanding of what it is? So the moment it can even give you variation of that, and okay, the moment you find the one you think, I like the way this is described, I kind of understand this now. Please make sure that future change log are written in this simplistic form. That way, what you are saying there, it becomes something that you can easily read, you can understand better. It's going to be different from how it's going to write a regular change log. Yours might be learning log. So LL, learning log, which a learning log is going to be different from change log. Change log is just writing as if you are talking to a technical person, what you have done, why you have done this. But learning is because you want to extract learning from it. And so the way it should be described is in a form that the person looking at it can understand, and there can be this pedagogy to it, like approach, a learning approach, that when you are reading off from the beginning, you are seeing how some of the features have been connected to each other. Oh, this is the point where I actually, this change affected this one, and because I asked to do this, it's going to be describing that. Keeping it brief is important, otherwise when something is too voluminous, you find it difficult to read. It looks like it's too late, it's too much. Anything you can read within 2 minutes is good. Hope that, again, kudos to you. You are doing really well, really well. All right, we are approaching the last minute. Any other update, Olakunle? Were you able to work on anything? If not, why? Because we also want to learn through what we've heard from someone who could not work on anything and explain the why. That was also helpful for us to learn about REST.
Good morning, everybody. Yeah, I was working on the project like 2 weeks ago, but I stopped because it requires some other subscription. Yeah, so but the past 2 3 weeks, my team have been busy at work, so I've been occupied. I even took extra. I did some overtime for my supervisors. I could not even go back to the project.
By subscription, can you point out
Yes.
to some?
So how would I put it? It wants me because it requires a huge GPU system. Like, so it was asking me if I have a GPU to run to. So it want me to rent a GPU with is it
And
Mac,
it's a bit easier that you are pushing it to do crazy stuff that needs rented.
yeah, yeah. There are some other small projects that I could do, but this one has been on my mind. So because I was doing some things manually, and I wanted to see if I can create an app to do it for me by myself. So I ventured into it, and he was asking me for GPU. Actually, it's a video cartoon creator, right? So
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. If you to render video, you need some compute. This and GPU will be the best. So yes,
yeah.
so that reminds me of my next. I've learned something from here again now. I've talked about this topic before, but I'll just write a post about a blog about it. Learning in the age of AI is expensive. Beyond the time, you will just have to commit monetary resources to. I'll spend thousands of dollars. It take God. Otherwise, I should have been drinking gari and water. I hope with my children and family now. It just takes a lot. You will spend some of this money to try out some ideas. At the end, it's just the cost of learning this age of AI, because more things are possible now with AI. And sometimes if you could rent, in fact, it depends, because Abiola's company also, they do that. They rent GPU, and there are some that are very affordable. That could something dollars per hour. That could put probably 30 very small laptop wide GPU. Not even the data center GPU. That's the idea. Making compatible GPU accessible. Even the NVIDIA GPU RTS, even 3070, 3090, 4080, those series, cheaper one. That could, meaning under $1, less than $1, could run for some hours just to prove that idea. And you can shut it down only when it's needed. You just run the game, 0. something, just to test the idea. That could be an option to look. Or otherwise, I think that is it. I don't know the nature of the project fully, but that is one idea that could make it cheaper. I will have mentioned looking out for other free compute resources online, but yeah, I hope that will help you pick it up. Work can be demanding, yes, but I'm glad that you made an attempt and say enough for the work. Yeah, but hopefully you're able to push again. Thank you for sharing that. In fact, I love that. Don't worry. In the next 1 month, less than a month, you will pick it up again. Every of the projects that have matured in my hand today, I started most of them several months ago, and I just abandoned them at some point. As more things come, as the energy just come one day, as something comes, you just go back again, you pick it up from there. 2 hours or 2 days or 3 days of working on it again become better than the previous version. And over time, you just have something more things now. You have grown, you have had more experience around it. Yeah, thank you for sharing that with us.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm not sure if everyone is in best position to talk. Otherwise, we could add your comments in the email we'll be sending to community member after this. But we've come to the end of today's session. The goal is to do ship day and just do this kind of demo is important.
The
Even if they-
check-in code again, please.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, right there. Check-in. Yes, this is check-in. Yeah, AILR7 or the QR code. So even if there's nothing that was demo today, we're still happy to do this so that we can encourage ourselves this way we have done and continue to push ourselves forward. Everything build on each other. Next 2 weeks, we are doing full networking and what is next. So we are coming to truly connect. We've not had much time to talk. We truly want to talk. We're going to bring coffee, we're going to bring some dishes. We'll talk, we'll connect people online, we'll ask questions. Those online can chat more with each other. Mitumo community has been launched. So right now on Mitumo, a community feature has been launched that our community is there. On that mobile app, we can chat with each other, we can connect. We can send each other message at any point in time. And this particular one does not expire. The community is not like an event that ends. It continues like that. We can drop feedback, update, chat each other in the DM. We can post something in the feed. All those things run on Mitumo. So we can continue. But next 2 weeks, we'll connect, network. Let's talk more. Yes. People plan things together as a community member beyond just learning every time. We also connect and let's pass time for cinema. Let's find time to also relax, just as we are building. And also we're going to see the vision on what is next, because from September, October, November, December, we will be running another series. The current series we are running is called Build with AI. The next one will be Behind the Scene. So that is where we're going to be learning more about this LLM. What is happening behind the scene? How are these models able to do? So we're learning more technical things. At the same time, we're still going to build in with LLM so that there's this inspiration, energy that comes with building new product, building something. At the same time, expanding our knowledge about this LLM and more. How do you read research paper? I'm lazy. One of the things that AI has done to us now, people don't want to read again. We need to tap energy from Ridwan. Ridwan will come here, we'll hold you down. We'll hold you. We'll grab your hand in our shoulder. You must anoint us, Ridwan, that we might be able to read more research paper. And, and you will know us, that's the advantage and the beauty of community, I'm looking forward to that series. And so that all of those things will be discussed in the next 2 weeks when we meet. So thank you all for coming today. We really appreciate everyone that joins. We will send out email reminder. And yes, our YouTube, of course. We already we have all the videos now, and today's video will be uploaded today. Yes. And I'll send email communication regarding that. And you'll be notified on the tomorrow. If you have not joined, please join, because I can also send push notifications so that to let you know when the video is uploaded. That way you'll get it on the mobile app that okay, videos have been uploaded for the community. Thanks everyone. We really appreciate your time here. Those of us left, we still have pizza and drinks, yeah. Celebration. Okay, I'm gonna stop recording.